And I'm with, please. And I'm here with a number of your public servants who are working overtime to make sure that everyone is safe as they can possibly be, and to try and deliver the services we need, not only to keep people safe and to get this fire put out, but also to make sure that we're on a smooth road to recovery. I can tell you without question, everybody on the ground working on this has your safety and your livelihood as their number one priority. You have people working on your behalf who themselves have lost their homes, whose families have been displaced, and who have gone hours and hours without sleep. They're working overtime, doing everything they possibly can do to make sure we get through this. So please be patient. Please listen to what everyone has to say. They have important information to share with you that'll help you get through this and will help you remain safe. I want to start, and Congressman Jared Huffman is up at the podium with me. Together, we represent the areas in Sonoma County that are under fire attack. I have the same thing going on in Napa County and in Lake County, and Jared has the same or similar in Mendocino County. We have never been taxed by a natural disaster to the extent we're being taxed right now. And it's overwhelming. And it's a tough row, but just know the people up here on this front row have your backs. I can tell you that from a federal perspective, the federal government is moving extremely fast to your benefit, to our benefit. Right away, they approved federal fire assistance grants, which brings resources into the county and helps a great deal. As soon as the governor and the counties all declared their disaster areas disasters, we moved that up to the administration through Congress, and Congress moved quickly to approve a couple of things that are very, very important. Most important, they approved public assistance grants. That means that there'll be money coming from the federal government to make sure that all of the local responders have the funds necessary to respond to this disaster. That's extremely important. Now, in the mix is also consideration of individual grants. And that's what we'll see happen as we get this fire out and we start moving to recovery. A number of folks who are affected by the fire will be able to access federal grant money and federal low-interest loans. This is very, very important on the recovery effort. It's not moving slow. It takes a lot of time to do this component. They've got to get the fire out first before they can even start to do assessments of the damage. Now, on that point, I think it's important to note that we have, and I think he's here today, Robert Pesapane from FEMA. FEMA, I've talked to the FEMA director. They are fully aware of how devastating this is, and they have committed to doing everything possible. And I'm one who believes you trust everybody, but you cut the cards. But let me tell you, there was no cutting the cards necessary with FEMA. They've got a person on the ground already, and the state OES office just told me they're already doing assessments of the damage so they can expedite all of these claims and make sure we get the resources we need and the resources that you need. So everyone's doing everything they can. Thank you for your patience. I am truly and deeply sorry for any loss that you've experienced and all of the discomfort and pain and dislocation that the community is going through. So thank you. Know that we're here for you. We've got your back. We're going to do all that we can. And now I'll turn it over to Congressman Huffman.
Thank you, Mike. So I'm Congressman Jared Huffman. Along with Mike here, I represent Sonoma County. And it's important that you know, as hard as we're working here in Sonoma County, unfortunately this is one of many fires around Northern California. Mike's got major fires in at least 3 counties he represents. I've got a major fire north on Highway 101 in Mendocino County. I was up there today with Assemblymember Wood and Senator McGuire, and while it's not as much in the headlines, just know that there's the same kind of terrible devastation and dislocation there. So we've got a lot of work to do. It's an all-hands effort, but I do want to emphasize what Mike just told you in detail. The federal approvals are there. So our local government partners are going to be moving forward knowing that they can have the confidence of federal support behind them. There will be a longer and a slower process for individual homes and businesses, I'm afraid. And one of the reasons Mike and I want to be here is we want you to know that your representatives in Congress are here for the long haul to do whatever it takes to make sure that your federal government has your back. And I just want to end by saying that already we're seeing amazing, heroic responses throughout our districts. Again, I was just up in Mendocino County, and I saw, I have a new appreciation for this incredible mutual aid system we had. I saw a dozen trucks rolling in from the state of Nevada with fire crews on their way to the front lines. I saw firemen from as far away as San Diego and Butte County and other places, some of which have their own fires that they're fighting. So I'm very grateful for that. I'm grateful for everyone who's here tonight to provide us with a little more information. And for the folks in Mendocino County in particular who are kind of cut off from the world right now, in Willits, for example, there have been some evacuation orders, and the communities I represent there don't have telephone service. They don't have internet service. They don't have natural gas. They can't cook their food. They don't know what to do. I'm grateful that we're live streaming tonight, and some of them at least will be listening on the radio to get a little more information to know what may be coming next. So thanks to everyone. We're glad you're here. We're going to be with you for the long haul. And I think at this point I'm handing back to Congressman Thompson.
Thank you, Jared. I'm going to briefly go over the agenda tonight. We're going to hear from CAL FIRE. We're going to hear a briefing from law enforcement, the services that they're providing. We'll hear from the California Office of Emergency Services and the Red Cross. We'll hear from the California National Guard, who are on the ground. Sonoma County will give us an update. The County Public Health will talk to us about some of the effects of this fire. The City of Santa Rosa, the mayor will be joining us. Mayor is now here. He will give us an update. We'll hear from PG&E, who's doing a great job making sure we're getting all the services restored as quickly as possible. Sonoma County Schools, Superintendent Harrington is going to tell us about the school situation. And then we'll hear from Brett Martinez from the Redwood Credit Union and Steve Folk from the Press Democrat on the North Bay Fire Recovery Fund. And then there'll be an opportunity for questions. At this time, I'd like to turn the mic over to someone who I guarantee you has your back. This guy was a partner with me a couple of years ago during the Valley Fire that devastated Lake County. And I can tell you without a question that he has your priorities, you as his priority, number one. He was a great partner there. He's a great partner here. He's an incredible state senator who's working hard for every one of you, and that's Senator Mike McGuire.
Good evening. I want to take a moment to say thank you to the Congressman Mike Thompson, who has been fighting for the county of Sonoma for the greater part of 2 decades. We are so lucky to be able to have Congressman Thompson and Congressman Huffman on our side, advocating for us in these difficult times in the county of Sonoma, and we are grateful to be able to have such champions. I'm joined with Assemblymember Jim Wood and Assemblywoman Aguiar Curry. What we want you to know is there is a unified front tonight when it comes to the federal government, the state of California, the county of Sonoma, and the city of Santa Rosa, and all local municipalities across this great county. Many of us in this room have lost a home. And many of you, if you have not lost your home, no one knows someone who has. And we are so sorry. What we can tell you tonight is that we are going to have tough days ahead. We are going to get through this. We will come out strong. But it's going to take all of us working together to ensure that happens. I want to take a moment and say thank you to the Board of Supervisors of the County of Sonoma who are here tonight. They have been unified in their support on all command when it comes to services. The Santa Rosa City Council, many members are here tonight as well. We have many city council members from throughout the county. We want to say thank you so much for being here as well. And a special thank you to the firefighters here locally in CAL FIRE. Just give them a round of applause. I'm going to give a brief update about the unified front that is being presented. Yesterday was a big day in regard to recovery services. Significant resources flowed into the county of Sonoma, where we're going to be basing all recovery services for Lake and Mendocino out of as well. 3,000 cots, 40,000 meals, 60,000 gallons of drinking water, tens of thousands of pillows, blankets, and sheets and cots all arrived last night. Were distributed, filling any gaps that we may have had at all shelters. We have a firefighting force that is approaching 5,000 in between Napa and Sonoma County, and that number continues to grow with forces coming in from across the West and across the state. We're going to hear more from CAL FIRE. We're going to hear more from the National Guard here in just a bit. Do want to touch on communication. We have significant lapses of communication. 77 cell sites across Sonoma and Napa counties were either damaged, destroyed, or did not have power. We know a total of 35 cell sites are now operational. Many are operational with generators. Candidly, we do have several that have been completely destroyed. AT&T, Verizon, US Cellular are moving all operations, and in fact, AT&T has a significant force in Sonoma, Mendocino, and Lake counties now working on all issues. We'll bring an additional 5 to 7 cell sites up later tonight on Mount St. Helena, but we are still lacking in that infrastructure, which is why many of you are having slower download service or unable to even access the internet. We are still struggling with Comcast, being very honest with you. And we have asked Comcast, both at the state level through the California Office of Emergency Services and at the ground, to pick up the pace. And that is a significant focus. And what we also want to let you know is we do have a significant catastrophic cut in fiber line in Mendocino County that is impacting many financial institutions as well as stores and healthcare institutions in both Sonoma, Mendocino, and Humboldt County. We're working on that. AT&T is on site, should be operational by tomorrow afternoon. Would like to be able to turn it over to Assemblymember Jim Wood and then to Assemblywoman Aguiar Curry.
Thank you very much. I'll be brief. We have a lot of information to get through tonight. There's so many agencies, organizations, individuals who've been working nonstop against unimaginable circumstances, and we have a lot to be grateful for. I can't thank them enough, and we can't thank them enough. Our prayers and thoughts are with you for those who've lost your homes, your pets, and other loved ones. We are here to let you know our message is to let us help you. We can't put out the fire, but our staffs, our resources can help you through the recovery. My staff has been working for the last day. Tomorrow, you will find, if you were to go to Jim Wood Assembly District 2, search that through Google, when we have service. I know that's a challenge. When we've got that up there, we are providing links to valuable resources that will help you during the recovery. So we also ask that you call our district offices in Ukiah and also in Santa Rosa for additional help. Most importantly, heed a lot of the warnings and things you hear and you have been hearing. But remember, the first 48 to 72 hours of an incident like this are really, really difficult. There's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of challenges with communications, and we're all experiencing that. But I'll tell you, as someone who's actually been in other disaster settings, we're doing really, really well here. Really, really well. And it may not feel like it now, but trust me, we're doing really well, and we have a lot of resources here to bear, and we can't be more thankful then. So I'm going to turn this over to Cecilia Aguiar Curry, and we've got a lot more information for you this evening.
Good evening. I too will keep this short. I represent Glen Ellen, Kenwood, Boys Hot Springs, and I can't even tell you, I have not even been able to have access to the area. So tonight, I'm just hoping and praying for those families that are in that area, as well as all of you that are here, and to guarantee you the support of the governor, who has given us the government emergency declaration, that we'll be able to move forward, have some more flexibility in helping you out. We have the National Guard that has been deployed, and they will be speaking, and I want to thank you so much for coming to help us as we need more manpower. Again, our best to all of you. We are fighting every day for you. It's been a long day, as you can imagine, but your day is longer, so have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you. The County of Sonoma has been instrumental in regards to the response and will be instrumental in the recovery. With us tonight is Supervisor Shirley Zane, who has not had a lot of sleep. She's been up for the greater part of 48 hours. She's the chairwoman of the Board of Supervisors. We welcome her.
Thank you. I just want to acknowledge that there have been so many incredible, hard workers and volunteers and generous offers from so many people and businesses, and I want to commend you, Sonoma County residents, for that. And I want to also assure you that we have our Emergency Operations Center open 24 hours a day. It's all hands on deck. We realize there's tremendous loss in this community, and we're here for you, and we will be here with you through a long period of recovery, because we know it's just really begun. And I want to thank you, and thank all of you for your generosity.
We now have an in-depth briefing by CAL FIRE. There are going to be some individuals from CAL FIRE who will have to leave here after their briefing. We will have CAL FIRE representatives hanging out after the briefing to be able to answer one-on-one questions. So if it works for all of you, what we'd like to be able to do is bring up Chief Brownell and his team at this point. They're going to be covering all issues in regards to current fire status, where it's at, total acres burned, structure loss, and where to access information. We're then going to open it up for some questions, since some CAL FIRE representatives are going to have to leave. And if it would work for everyone, we're going to hold the rest of the questions for all other agencies until the end of the agenda. Is that okay with everyone? Yeah. All right. So why don't we bring up Chief Brownell along with his team to be able to give us an update on all of the fires happening in Sonoma County. Chief.
Well, good evening. On behalf of the unit chief for the Lake Napa Sonoma unit, Chief Shauna Jones, and CAL FIRE IMT-1, we are humbled by this incident, and our hearts go out to everyone in this room that has suffered loss. So I want to start with that. My name is Brett Gavea. I'm the incident commander for CAL FIRE IMT-1. Joining me tonight is Chief Tony Gosner in Unified Command from the Santa Rosa Fire Department. And at this time, I'd like to turn over kind of an operational briefing from Chief Tony Brownell, our Operations Section Chief.
I'm going to refer to the maps a little bit so you get a little bit of idea. I know everybody can't see it. So the fire started kind of in this area up here. You guys had a significant wind. So, you know, at the beginning of this winter, we're getting a lot of rain, everything's doing good. You know, it's not going to be a bad fire season. Well, unfortunately, a lot of our fields were stressed. In the years of drought, and then we get a lot of rain, we got a lot of grass. So that adds to our fire behavior.
When you get the right conditions with the fuels and that wind coming up, it was a disaster waiting to happen, and it happened. It not only happened to you, it happened all over the counties, up and down the state. The night this fire broke, I was fighting a fire in my own unit, Butte unit of Butte County, and we were experiencing the same issues you are. We burned down a lot of houses, and we had several significant fires. So I feel for you guys. It was hard for me to drive away from my own unit when it was on fire, but we do what we need to do. We solve the problem. So the fire started up here and made a significant run down into Santa Rosa. Excuse me? This is up on the 128, up on top.
So if you could just describe the communities, the neighborhoods, the roads.
These guys are from out of Sonoma County, so I'm going to step up and help them. My name's Tony Gosner. I'm the fire chief for the city of Santa Rosa. So up here, this is where the fire initiated. It's off of Tubbs Lane area. Tubbs Lane is outside of Calistoga. I want to say it started around 8 o'clock, 8:30 on Sunday. As you come down, this is Highway 29 going up. This is 128. This comes into Hillsburg area. Calistoga is over here. And as you come through these communities, these are, mountainous terrains, right? So you got mountain fire protection district up in this area. And as it comes down, this area here is Larkfield, Wickiup, Windsor. Down here is into Santa Rosa. So all this is into Santa Rosa. This is Highway 101. This is where it came across the highway. So, say that again. So this is Santa Rosa, Wickiup, Windsor, Hillsburg's in this area, or actually in this area, and then the Calistoga area. So it burned towards Santa Rosa from the community of Calistoga.
Thank you, Chief. Like the Chief saying, I'm not from the area, so I'm just now learning the area. I've only been in this area for 2 days now.
And real quick, the incident management team is in charge of 2 fires, soon to be 3 fires. So this is the Tubbs fire, this is the Pocket fire, this is up in Calistoga. This is about a 500-acre fire right now, I believe. So it's up in the Geyserville area. This is 101. So we do have some communities over here to the west and scattered throughout, but this is the Pocket fire. The other fire that we are going to take control of tomorrow morning, I believe, is the Nuns fire, which is currently this area over here, and that's also burning in towards Santa Rosa as well. So what we're trying to do is control. The Nuns fire has a separate incident management team, so what we're going to do is take control of everything in Sonoma County for our incident, and so we'll have a portion of the Nuns fire that burns into the city. And with that, I'll turn it back.
Thank you.
Ma'am.
Okay, so you guys had a significant fire growth the first day. After the wind kind of died down, it gave us a little bit of a break to go in there and start getting some of this area tied in. Calistoga Road, down towards the bottom, was tied in last night. We were able to do a firing operation, which means we put fire on the ground, we fought fire with fire.
She doesn't have to be right there. She can be over here.
Sorry about that. So we were able to really contain this bottom half of the fire. It was a very big concern for us. We were concentrating a lot on this side over here because we knew coming up in a couple days we were going to have the wind coming back at us. So we were trying to pinch this section off. Down here in Santa Rosa, a lot of infrastructure was damaged. Power lines, cable, and a lot of commercial structures were damaged as well as houses. We had a lot of resources down here trying to keep those from going further into the city. Today's fire started off pretty slow this morning. It wasn't doing a lot of growth. We had a good humidity come up last night, but the wind came up this afternoon about 1 o'clock. So we had 2 areas that caused some fire spread on this fire today, on the Tubbs. The fire spread a little bit north, going down towards the Lake County side, above 120 Highway 128. It's still spreading a little bit, but we're keeping it in check with dozers in the aircraft today before the sun went down. Another concern we had today is down here out just a little bit north here at 101. It got in some hilly area in the grass in there, and it was burning through there and stuff. But we have resources on both areas, and we're keeping them checked. We are concerned about tomorrow because the red flags are being predicted as well again tomorrow. Red flag conditions means when conditions, the humidity drops, the wind comes up. With the wind and humidity drop, the fuels become more receptive to fire. So when you get the winds coming up at a certain speed, usually around 20 to 30 miles or plus, like you guys experienced the first night, fire has a tendency to get up and start moving. And that's what we're concerned about.
I have a question about Tubbs fire. We're going to take questions in just a moment.
So I'll move over to the pocket fire. The pocket fire is burning around the geysers areas. Around the geysers, the thermal plants in there. The fire started moving a little bit north when the wind picked up today, and we're putting resources in place around the structures on either side of those little subdivisions, and we're putting what we call a secondary contingency line in, so if it does get out, we have something else to fall back to start continuing to keep them out of the structure. But what the hopes is we can get around this bottom section tonight with our bulldozers and our crews to kind of tighten that bottom section up, so when we do get that wind coming back in tomorrow, we'll have something to slow it down.
All right, again, my name is Brad Gavea. I'd like to give you a little history on kind of what happened this week so everybody has a little better understanding of kind of the extreme conditions that the state of California is under. We're faced with, many of you know, 50 to 70 mile an hour winds over a good majority of the North State and parts of Southern California. Literally, in a 2 to 3 hour period, the night before last, we had 7 different counties affected by fire all at once, and not just ordinary fires. Normally we get those same type of fires, but we're able to contain them under 10 acres, and many of you don't ever hear about those. So because of those wind conditions, these fires got out very quickly. And things started off early in the day in Mendocino County, and fires got out of hand pretty quickly. And the local fire departments, the local unit, sent resources over to assist Mendocino County. Butte County then followed with pretty large fires, and so did Nevada County. Shortly thereafter, Napa County and the Atlas Peak fire took off. These fires just happened all in a very close succession with each other, so you can imagine resources going a lot of different directions. So it's one of those things where this fire in itself, if nothing else in the state were occurring, would be a handful for the entire state. So that was the situation we're faced with, and we're still faced with today. Resources are exhausted statewide. Resources are being brought in from out of state. We're doing the very best we can with the number of bodies that we have and the number of resources we have to prioritize the parts of the fire to try and first protect lives, and secondly try and save your homes. And every firefighter out on the line is emotionally attached to that. And many of them just came off the line this morning after about 40 hours straight. Again, we are humbled by your response. The structure loss is not good. I wish I had exact numbers for you, but I don't. It's hard to just put out projections and then not be accurate after the fact. We have teams put together now that are aggressively going across these fires and trying to assess the damage. And they're literally going to each and every home, and they're counting homes, they're counting outbuildings, they're counting vehicles. Anything that was damaged, they are taking photos and accounting for those things. That's very important for the recovery efforts and the grant funding that was spoke about earlier to help bring those funds to the local area. Right now, just on the Tubbs fire, we would project that we're anywhere between 1,500 and 3,000 structures lost. That number could be higher, but we're aggressively trying to get an answer for you as to what that number is. We haven't lost any homes or structures on the pocket, but as you heard earlier, Chief Gosner mentioned, we have the Nun Fire that is being managed by the South Complex out of Napa County. That fire has burned upwards, up further into the north part of Sonoma County, and is now affecting Santa Rosa City. Because of that, we're making efforts and coordinating with the South Complex to take that fire into this complex. So we'll be in that process tomorrow to manage that. Furthermore, any of the fires that they have going on down in southern Sonoma County that cross the Napa County line, we're going to assume the Sonoma County side to try and clean it up. So Incident Management Team 3, CAL FIRE Incident Management Team 3 is managing the South Complex. They will maintain everything in Napa County. We will maintain Sonoma County and start trying to lay the groundwork so that we can make this a lot easier to manage each county. There's questions all the time about information, and there's frustration, and I apologize sincerely as the incident commander for that. We have very little information ourselves, and it is frustrating that we don't have it to share. We can't put out bad numbers, as I just spoke to about the structures. I can't stand up here or stand before the media and give you numbers that may be false. So we try to get out the information as best we can as you have a large incident that has adversely and tragically impacted your communities. And we're working very hard to get you accurate information. With that, I would like to turn the mic over to Chief Tony Gosner. I've just got to know Tony yesterday as my unified IC, and you guys are very lucky to have him as the fire chief of Santa Rosa Fire Department.
Thank you very much, and I really want to extend my appreciation to CAL FIRE. They've been nothing but great. Tremendous knowledge and help for our communities. It's not just Santa Rosa, it's Wickiup, it's Larkfield, it's all other communities. The complex is much bigger than Santa Rosa, but we are a very big part of that. I'll just give you a quick story, or tell you my story, very quick, because I know we got a long night, but you know, this for us in Santa Rosa, it started around 7:30, 8 o'clock. We had a fire downtown that burned into the creek. It was the average fire, if you can say that. I will tell you that it was very difficult to control because the winds were just so erratic and they were much harder than we experienced. So we had a lot of equipment on that fire, which was taxing for the city. We had the city of Sebastopol, we had other communities helping us. While that fire was wrapping up, we learned of this fire, the Tubbs fire. We didn't know the name at the time, but we heard it was coming towards Santa Rosa. We heard it was already at Safari West. I drove over Fountain Grove, probably around 9 o'clock to meet up with another chief officer to discuss our plans. You could see the glow, and the winds were blowing pretty hard. After we had our meeting, we drove back over Fountain Grove, and the glow was much closer. It was amazing how fast it moved. This was about 9:30. By 11:30, the fire was already in Santa Rosa. By 11:30, it was on the highway. It was pushing past the highway. So these winds were very difficult to manage. We just could not get ahead of this fire. While we were doing this, we were working with CAL FIRE. We're working with Rincon Valley and Windsor Fire Chief and other communities. We ordered extra equipment early on. 3 immediate strike teams, which is 5 engines and a leader. We had our operations for our area, our op area coordinator ordered 25 strike teams because he knew it was going to get bad. And we set up shop in the Kmart parking lot to start running this fire. We thought that was going to be a safe place. Well, within an hour we were moving, and we moved to Fire Station 3. And within another hour, It was burning behind us. I know all you guys, not everyone, but a lot of people lost a lot of houses. We lost businesses, big buildings, small buildings. Very difficult for the community. I feel for you. I apologize. It was a very difficult night. But we're here to help. We're here to do the best we can to stop this fire, to prevent any other loss. We have our challenges still. It's going to be difficult the next day or two. But I feel very confident in the resources that we have. There's never enough, right? There's never enough resources. Very confident in the incident management team that I'm so fortunate to help. And I know they have our best interests in all of you, the city of Santa Rosa, Larkfield, Windsor, all the communities. I will say this too, during the heat of the fire, we had every available piece of fire equipment in the county dedicated to this fire. We had Timber Cove, we had Bodega Bay, we had Sebastopol, we had everyone that could put a piece of equipment on this fire on the fire. There was nothing left. And those brave men and women worked their tails off. I'm very proud of them. I'm very fortunate that nobody got hurt. That includes CAL FIRE. We had a ton of CAL FIRE resources. Everyone came together. We worked well together, all for common goals to save as much as we could. And the biggest part for us, the fire moved so fast, we were dedicated to evacuations. We had to get the word out. It was hard to law enforcement, they're going to talk. Real quick, they sent a ton of equipment to help us. Surrounding communities helped us. I'll let them talk about it. But everyone really came together that night. We're still together. We're unified. And we're going to try to make this as short as we can. You got to bear with us. We're doing the best we can. And with that, I'll just close it. So thank you very much.
So we're going to take about 10 questions. Then we're going to have additional questions at the end under questions or comments. So if we can have specific questions related to CAL FIRE, right over here, Mr. Gore, Supervisor Gore. Supervisor Gore is going to repeat each question since we're on live stream. So please, first question.
I'm going to repeat each question. These are specific to fire questions. Question and answer for all the other issues are going to come at the end. Y también si hay algunas personas que están hablando en español, puedo traducir o intentar lo máximo. Yes, sir.
My question's about the tough fires. You show us an enclosure from the northeast to the southwest. I'm assuming that the fire stopped burning in places on the northeast as it continued to the southwest. And could you verify this assumption? Is that entire thing engulfed in flames, or is it stopped in areas and moving in other areas? And also, anything specific about the area of Safari West and West Springs Lodge, that small community of homes where I'm from, and I don't know if anybody knows anything about it.
Okay, 2 questions. The complexity of the fire up there. I think one thing is did it just clean swipe everything, or did it spot and move around in that area? And number 2, any specific information on Safari West and the Mark West Lodge area?
I'll defer to Chief Gosner on that Safari West area, but I can tell you that as of today, we had a good inversion layer in. Humidities came up good last night, and the fire laid down. With the folks we had and the resources we had, they did a lot of good work today. The fire is brought down to control lines, and we're still having firefighters work those areas. However, this afternoon, we had a very poor afternoon with weather. We had a strong southwest wind start blowing this afternoon, and the fire did jump on the the northeast portion of the fire. The fire did cross Highway 128, and we have resources out there right now trying to get around that. Our hope is that we get that humidity recovery again tonight and we don't see winds. There is a chance for north winds tonight, for the wind to calm down out of the southwest and come out of the north. Anytime we're in an area that is affected by coastal weather, that's what we see. We see a lot of changes. So we're doing the best we can with that. As far as the Safari West area, I'll let Chief Gosner reference that.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Safari West. I haven't been up there since the fire started and haven't talked to anybody that has. So I don't know how complete the burn was. I can tell you in parts of Santa Rosa it was very complete, whether you lived in a residential neighborhood or you lived near wildland. But as far as Safari West, I have no information.
Thank you very much. Next question.
I'm Deborah Castillo with Bethlehem Tower Independent Living, downtown Santa Rosa. You mentioned that it's coming in the direction of Santa Rosa. We've been blessed at this point only to deal with the smoke and not the fire. But what strategies do you have in place for when that time occurs?
Thank you. I think this is a good question. Earlier today in your briefing with CAL FIRE, you guys talked to us about the activity of the fires. How much are we in control of the fires that are coming into actually the city of Santa Rosa versus the wildland areas?
You know, it's a very good question, so thank you for that. And it's a tough question. There's always a chance until we start giving you good containment numbers. That means that we don't have the resources or have not yet to extremely, it's a better word for it, extinguish the area fully. Anytime you still have hot embers inside the fire perimeter, there's always a chance that it could jump out with wind changes like we keep seeing. We're working very diligently at that. So I think we've made good progress today. There are parts of the fire that are starting to look that way, and I'll let the operations guys brief me tonight on which sections of the fire do look like they held good today and got good, as we call it, mop up, where we go in and we extinguish every hot ember along that section of line to secure it. Does that answer your question? So what plans are in place if the fire should push deeper into Santa Rosa City, and that's what you're asking? Thank you. We have contingency plans that our ops section works on as far as moving resources, working with the city of Santa Rosa on an interior response with what they have left in the city, and moving resources off of other areas of the fire to come down. Again, our priorities are life safety and property. And we will shift resources to address those issues when they start to arise.
Thank you. Another question right here.
Hi, I live in Rincon Valley, just east of Fountain Grove Parkway, between Brush Creek, Middle Rincon, Montecito Avenue, and Badger. You guys did an excellent job in clearing the area. Thank you so much. God bless you. What's the status of the area off of Reedley Road and Wallace? In other words, how are the chances over there between Brush Creek and Calistoga Road and Badger in that area, the Rincon Valley area? How is it looking in the near future, if you can tell me?
Rincon Valley area, Brush Creek, Montecito, all those connected. What's the status of that area?
Monday, we sent crews to Badger and Wallace. We understood that there was some fire down in that area. We sent a strike team, which consists of 5 engines. I think we ended up with 9 engines down there. And their objective was to anchor and hold that fire, put it out. And at this point, it is out. You know, I can't tell you what's going to happen tonight or tomorrow or the next day, but right now, at least for Badger and Wallace, that has been extinguished as far as I can tell. As far as the other areas you spoke, I have no knowledge. I know the fire came through there and it came through there hard. You know, there's going to be a lot of burned area.
I think as a follow-up question, one of the things in our briefing earlier today that you all talked about was priorities going forward, something like repopulation. A lot of people are asking questions about repopulation. Can you talk about what you go through for areas that haven't been burnt down, what you do to get those areas appropriately repopulated and why?
There's a lot of factors that play into repopulating an area, and I know from your perspective, you might not see every one of those. Again, life safety is our #1 priority. So we got to ensure and we got to make sure that when we let you back into an area with your families, with your children, that it's safe, that there's nothing in that area that can harm you or your family. And that starts with utilities, down power lines, gas service, snags, trees that can fall, roadways, infrastructure. We got to ensure that we take care of all those items. And again, probably lastly, is the operations surrounding portions of the homes. Do we have a lot of heavy equipment coming in and out, and it's dangerous to repopulate an area? I can tell you, as soon as we evacuate, the number one priority and thought is to get people back into their homes absolutely as quickly as we can. So all those factors play into it. We have cooperator meetings every morning, and in those discussions, in order to repopulate, say, a neighborhood, we go through all the cooperators, the service providers for your utilities. Each one of them have to sign off that that area is free of any hazards. So PG&E, for example, may sign off on power lines in an area. And then we go to the gas service provider. And then we go to Public Works for roads or Caltrans or whatever that road is. Make sure that guardrails are taken care of. And then we also make sure that any other hazards from the fire damage are all mitigated so that you can safely go back in without any worries and move on with your lives.
I have a question that is being asked through me is, and it goes back to another thing that you briefed on before, is damage assessment. There was a question about how do we know if our address, how do we know if this? You talked a little bit earlier today to some of us about when you guys and how you can do damage assessment and where we are at right now with response versus assessment of numbers. Can you give us an overview on that, please?
Yeah, and a lot of times it's difficult to find addresses and whatnot. What we've put together is a team that represents all the jurisdictions in this area. So the city, the county, your local OES coordinators, the EOCs, the emergency operations sections, both in the city and the county, and representatives from the various jurisdictions that are responsible for your homes. And we put that team together, and they're going to go out in a method that everybody agrees to capture, as I spoke to earlier, everything that's been damaged from this fire, that's property.
How do we find out that information? I guess, so you'll be releasing numbers, but macro numbers coming up after this, I would assume is the next case. You talked about flights and other things that would do estimates on buildings and other things. When can we anticipate, or would we anticipate, that there would be information coming specifically out of addresses and or other things? Or is that more of information once these places open back up that we're going to have to find out for ourselves?
That information will be transferred through the jurisdictions. So it's different everywhere you are, and I can't speak on behalf. But for example, a city would get that information on structures that were lost in the city. There's efforts that go into parcel maps and things like that to identify addresses. That information is then given to that jurisdiction, and then they can disseminate that to their jurisdiction and the homes that fall in that.
Okay, next question.
Hi. I was wondering if you guys have any information on how the fire started.
At this time, it's under investigation. Excuse me. The question was, do we have any information on what started the fire?
It was absolutely an act of God carried out by angels.
Okay. Well, I think a better, sir, if I can, Chief, if I can, I think a better question is, there's a lot of people who are asking if this was even had something to do with a conspiracy theory, arson. More of the question, it seems to us, is that it started in one place and the tornado-like winds moved it around. Is that the case, or what do you guys see out there?
When these things occur, and I'll be honest, I'm being completely transparent with you, we don't know. We're here to fight the fire and manage the fire. We have an investigation team that's assigned to that first tries to pinpoint the area of origin, which isn't an easy thing to do. but it goes back to reports, it goes back to indicators that they look for out there, and they look for an area of origin, and then they try to find the exact point of origin where the fire started from. And then there's lots of witness statements that can be taken. In other words, there's an entire investigation team of investigators that are working on this. And that information and that process is a very sterile process. It's not shared with all the other firefighters, as you could imagine, because it's a very secure process that they're going through.
And many times this information comes out months, even further, long investigations into the Ring Fire and others. Next question, sir.
About what's happening now in the fire and what we should expect to happen this evening. It appears that Bennett Valley has fire in it, and that the fire in this Nuns Fire area is coming from the east and toward the west. As I was driving here, people are streaming out of town on the 12 by the fairgrounds. It's totally congested, both on the terrestrial roads and on the highway roads. What's going on fire-wise there, and what are the resources right now that are fighting the fire right now in those residential neighborhoods?
So I think the question is, even though you're not currently managing the Nunes Fire, what exactly do you know that's going on in that area? I have a question up here.
The Nuns Fire, it is burning in Annandale, and it's, as of this morning, late this morning, we got word that it was backing into the Wild Oak portion of Oakmont. Oakmont was evacuated earlier today. We had PG&E secure the gas to all the residents in Oakmont, so that would not continue the fire if it were to catch on fire. We do know that it is on real close to the Bennett Ridge at this point, as well as we think it might be near Lake El Sanjo. The good part of today was that we had a pretty good inversion layer on it, which kept the fire down. In the afternoon, that inversion layer lifted. We got a little bit of wind on it, and then we started seeing the column grow a little bit. So we know the fire's there. I can tell you that we pinged all of the Sonoma County fire agencies again through our dispatch center. We have 3 task forces that were sent to the fairgrounds, as well as the city of Santa Rosa has some additional equipment. We called back all of our employees yet again. So everyone is in and working. We're looking at renting fire engines from agencies that may have fire engines that don't have, local agencies that don't have enough people to fill them. We've got the people, we just don't have enough. We have enough to fill what we have, right? So it's a difficult question to answer because we don't know what the weather's going to do. I can tell you we have those units available for initial attack and get up there around the Bennett Valley area or the Oakmont area, whichever needs it the most. So that's where we're at with Oakmont and Bennett Valley. It's concerning, right? The next day is going to be very telling moving forward, but we're doing everything we can to prevent anything catastrophic.
Okay, just 2 more questions. One is
real quick, ladies and gentlemen.
I was going to ask a question for.
If I can have everyone's attention. So what we'd like to be able to do is we're going to have 2 more questions. We're going to have 2 more. Sir, I'm going to come. Sir, I'm going to come talk to you in a second. So what we're going to do is we're going to have 2 more questions in this portion. We're then going to open it up for additional questions at the end. We will not leave here tonight until we answer all of your questions. In addition, CAL FIRE is going to be staying here this evening to be able to answer specific questions here at the MAP. So we're going to be working with you. We have 2 more questions in this portion. Supervisor Gore,
2 more questions. And the question that came up from up top is, do you know, you were just doing the briefing on the Nunes Fire, do you know that Bennett Valley was evacuated? Is it evacuated currently from your understanding? And what is, there's people here who are frustrated about Bennett Valley specifically. That was the question.
What I know is Bennett Valley area was evacuated about 3 hours ago. We had police up there evacuating, and that's, so somebody else said, well, do we really want to evacuate that whole area? The answer is yes. Sunday night, we didn't have enough time to evacuate everyone as well as we could. So yes, you are evacuated. We are doing everything we can to make sure that the fire stays away from the homes, but time will tell. We did evacuate that area as a precaution.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Another question.
Have you used air support to fight the fire, and how effective has that been?
Have you used air support to attack the fire? And if so, how effective has it been up to this point? And I had one final question right here.
Okay, so air support was the question. Have we been able to utilize air support? Very, very limited on our availability of air support. As many of you know, yesterday morning the winds were extremely high still, and that limits our capabilities with our aircraft and what they can do. Again, we're sharing those aircraft with other incidents. And the priority is if there are homes that are about to be overcome by fire, on any of these incidents, they become the priority. And then it can shift back to here and back and forth. So aircraft are positioned in a manner that they can respond to the various fires as needed. Today, the difficulty for aircraft use was the smoke inversion layer that many of you saw today. We could not safely operate aircraft because they cannot see the ground, the power lines, the trees, the buildings. There is no visibility for the pilots for most of today. So we have been very limited to that. We're hopeful that conditions will change a little bit that'll allow us to employ those aircraft a little bit more in the future.
The final question I have, sir, is a lot of people have specific questions about different areas. What's the best place for them to go to get information about fires that aren't, or if they're not here, number one, through your work? And then number two is that this town hall will by no means be the last. We're going to be having more here. We're going to be having some, I think, regionally in different areas. And we're working with your PIO officers to do that. But that's going to be over the coming days and coming weeks. Is that correct?
That is correct. As we get more PIOs in, as we get better intel from the fire, part of that intel is aircraft being able to fly over these fires and accurately give us a perimeter. We also use infrared flights to do that. That's all been very limited. Those things are freeing up a little bit, it sounds like today, and we'll have better intel in that area. So what was the other part of the question? Oh, information, the website. So you want to go to the CAL FIRE website at fire.ca.gov, and you can gain information on any of the fires that are burning up and down the state, and by going to that website. Yeah, the CAL FIRE website is fire.ca.gov.
Thank you again to our representatives of CAL FIRE and the Santa Rosa City Fire Department. We're going to move on to the next item in our agenda. We're going to get a briefing from law enforcement on service demands, repopulation, and curfew. So the first person we're going to hear from is Sheriff Rob Giordano, and then we're going to be followed by Captain Mike Palacio from the California Highway Patrol. So Sheriff, please take over.
Thank you. Thanks for being here tonight. Let me start with something a little out of order. CAL FIRE mentioned, we talked about repopulation and how they had teams who were going to clear the area and make the area safe. I heard questions about how will you get back in, how will you know, where will those houses be. So what we envision doing, and we're already working on at the Sheriff's Office, is they will clear those areas for us, and then we will broadcast this area is going to be open. We will put deputies there. You will show up with your ID and say, I want to go to my house, and we'll let you in to go to your own house. So that is how we want to let that happen as we can book those places. Eat the mic. I'm told to eat the mic real close. I'm not talking well. All right. Is that better? All right. Rookie on the mic. So let me start. I'm going to go back that repopulation a little bit. Let me start with the very beginning. Absolutely horrific event. Personally, I think it'll be one of the worst disasters in California history. Never seen anything like it. The amount of resources we've put into it, the amount of damage we've seen, the amount of, it's just unbelievable how much. So the one thing I need you to go away with tonight is you got to be patient. We're just trying to keep people alive. Number one priority is life. This afternoon at 4 o'clock, my deputies were running up to Larkfield again to do evacuations again because the fire's moving, as CAL FIRE said. This is nowhere near over. It is still very dangerous. So we want you back in your home sooner than later, but we got to keep everybody alive first and everybody safe first, and all of our resources are on that, evacuation, moving people out. It kind of goes back to this curfew issue and evacuation. To keep your property safe, there's a lot of houses still out there, and to keep people safe, every evacuated area, every burned area is closed. We have roughly, normally in the county of Sonoma, there's about 30 deputy sheriffs working at any given time. We have about 200 law enforcement officers working out there right now. We have agencies Oakland, San Francisco PD, San Mateo SO. There's 20 different agencies up here helping us, and they are all over securing those areas to keep people safe. Thank you, but thank them. Don't forget, San Francisco PD sent 100 officers by 8 o'clock yesterday morning. That's the kind of response we're getting from other places. So, what I've seen in the last 48 hours is incredible cooperation. Fire, law, everybody working together to make this happen, and bigger numbers than we've ever used in this county, and yet we're still trying to keep people safe and get them out of the houses. So the patience is a big part of this for us. I can't even imagine what it feels like to experience the loss. So I can't tell you I get it. I will tell you that in the first couple hours of this fire, when I got to work, I had deputies coming off the hill with ash all over them, burn marks on their cars, who had lost their homes and were still working. We have at least 20 employees who lost their homes in that area. So we have experienced it. It's horrible, but again, life's what matters. Property can be replaced, so we're just trying to keep everybody safe and alive. I want to talk a little bit about staffing issues. The way we're running right now is either deputies are sleeping or they're working. That's it. We're running 12-hour shifts, 7 on 7. We're going to keep doing that for the next several weeks. California Emergency Services, all their law enforcement agencies have all stepped up to supply us with other people. That will keep running for weeks at a time. So you're going to see a lot of different agencies in our county while that happens. Our goal, get you back into your house safely. Don't let anybody else get hurt. Keep all the areas secure so nothing gets taken and nobody gets hurt in the area. So please be patient with us. Don't go back into the area until we tell you. Follow Sonoma County Facebook page and follow Sonoma County Sheriff's Office Nixle. All the broadcasts are going out through that. You will see what neighborhoods we open up and when we get that opportunity. And you will greet deputies waiting there at the street to let you in if it's where you live so you can go check on your house. That's the plan, to put people back in there. We are asking anyone who has a missing relative to call 707-565-3856. That is the Emergency Operations Center for Sonoma County. That is the information line. We've had 10,000 calls there so far. Of those 10,000 calls, we've taken 300 missing persons reports. We have a team of 30 people just working on missing people. That team of 30 found 110 people safely today. So in essence, as my partner said before, a lot of communication issues. Cell phones aren't working right. People didn't run with their chargers. So we're tracking people down at evacuation centers, their sister's house, their brother's house, to try and eliminate that missing person list. That still leaves roughly 200 people on the missing person list we're still looking for. Hopefully we'll find more of them at families and friends' houses. So we're approaching it from that angle. We also are prepared when we can get out into the scene, just go out and search houses and search places. We have so far had 11 fatalities as of like 10 minutes ago related to this fire. Bear with me, I'll make sure I covered everything. I think we're good. I'll answer questions afterwards. Thank you for your patience.
And next we have Captain Mike Palacio with the California Highway Patrol.
Good evening, everybody. I just want to start with offering my condolences and my sympathies, and during this tragic time, and many of you have lost your houses, and many friends have sustained losses of all types, and our hearts and our prayers go out to you. From our perspective, our main concern is keeping you safe out on the roadways. So We've started answering calls late Sunday night. Roadways were inundated with fallen trees, smoke, fire, wires down, different things that we've been responding to since. We've elevated our personnel levels, drawn from different offices from around the Bay Area to try and meet the needs that we need to keep you safe out on the roadways. We continue to work with our law enforcement partners and fire personnel who have just been amazing and outstanding in every way. Our air operations has flown at least 50 rescue missions in the Napa County area from rescuing people that have been trapped, and they continue to fly general law enforcement missions in the Sonoma County, and will also fly rescue missions should it become necessary. We're aiding with law enforcement aides efforts to guard against property damage and looting and different things like that, medical aid, all those things, and primarily trying to keep the roadways clear. Highway 101 is clear. I know it was closed for some time yesterday. For your awareness, we're going to have to shut it down possibly to help PG&E facilitate getting wires and power back to the hospitals in certain areas in the county. So that may be an inconvenience. We'll try and announce that as much as we can. I would say pay attention to road conditions out there. If you don't need to be on the road, please don't be out on the road. There's a lot of unsafe conditions, like I mentioned before, trees, wires down, different things created by the fires. If you want to know the latest road closures, you can go to roadconditions@sonoma-county.org. That's roadconditions@sonoma-county.org. And there are plenty of traffic apps out there too that will help you, such as Waze. They'll route you around current closures and get you to your destination as quick as possible. Remember also that when you're out on the roads and you're creating crowded conditions, it harms our rescue efforts, and emergency personnel that need to get up and down the highway can sometimes be hindered by heavy traffic. So please, if you don't need to be out there, please try and figure something else out and make your trips another time. That's roadconditions@sonoma-county.org. And I think that'll be it. I'll stick around to answer questions after this briefing's over.
We will be taking questions here immediately following all the presentations, and a reminder that CAL FIRE will be staying here to be able to answer questions in just a few moments. We now would like to be able to turn it over to the California Office of Emergency Services, the Red Cross, and the Department of Insurance. So we're going to be hearing from Jody Travisero, the Regional Administrator for the California Office of Emergency Services, on recovery as well as shelter services. She'll then turn it over to the Red Cross to talk about shelter services, and to the California Department of Insurance. Jody Travisero.
Hello, everybody. First, again, we want to apologize for what you're going through right now. This is a tremendous crisis. As a member of the Governor's Office of Emergency Services, I'm here to tell you that we flooded the county with a tremendous number of resources to make sure there are zero unmet needs in this community during this time. In the early hours when the fire started that morning, the Sheriff's Office, the Fire Chief, and the County Emergency Manager immediately ordered representatives from the California Governor's Office of Emergency Services to come in and assist with assessing and ordering the necessary assets to augment your current first responder services. That meant we brought in immediate fire mutual aid, law enforcement mutual aid, and emergency management mutual aid for the entire county. They also asked us to help assess the shelters and make sure we bring in immediate assessments and assets just to make sure that there were cots, pillows, blankets, food in support of the American Red Cross. As of 4:30 today, there were no missions remaining that are unfilled. And our top priority is to understand exactly what your needs are and get those immediately addressed through the system that we have, which is clearly a multi-jurisdiction, multi-discipline effort. It doesn't matter which jurisdiction we come from, we want to hear from you and make sure we serve you appropriately. It's got to be the right asset, the right service at the right time. We are 100% committed to maximizing every resource we can to help you through the response and recovery effort. And with me today, we have our National Guard partners. Of course, we have FEMA on the ground, the American Red Cross, and in partnership with your county emergency services, we are here again to listen to what you need and bring every available asset to the table. So again, I'm very sorry for what you're going through. I appreciate your patience. It's a very chaotic and dynamic time as the wind conditions change. It's a multi-county incident and a major disaster. And I'm going to turn this over to our wonderful National Guard liaison here to communicate about what they've been doing for us.
Thank you, Jerry. Yeah, this is a team effort, and the California Guard is going to do whatever it can to support Cal OES, Cal Fire, and the local agencies to get this under control and help drive forward in the recovery efforts. And when I look up in the banner there, I see you can't be on this floor unless you're a team player. And the California Guard is a team player. So we'll do whatever it takes. On a personal note, one of my soldiers, Scott Yates, longtime member of California National Guard, he lost his family's house and belongings and 2 trucks during this fire. And so we're in it with you. We care. I'd like to turn it over to FEMA, who is going to help us work together to go forward and get this done.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Robert Pezapane. I'm with the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA. I'm located, out of our Oakland, California office. First, I want to say and echo the sentiments of everybody here that our hearts go out from FEMA to everybody who's been affected by this disaster. Both congressmen gave a good overview of the federal response, and I'll just highlight a few items. Since Monday, FEMA has approved multiple fire management assistance grants, which helps first responders on the ground responding and fighting the fires. Additionally, since Monday, we've approved multiple fire management assistance grants. Additionally, we've activated our Regional Response Coordination Center out of Oakland, California. There, it's where we're coordinating with the federal family and ensuring that we have the right resources at the right time in support of the state. We've also deployed our Regional Incident Management Assistance Team, our IMAT, which is supporting the California OES in Sacramento. And then additionally, we're moving more resources on the ground to support local and state efforts. Lastly, we've also provided direct federal assistance in the way of cots, blankets, and food. We remain committed in supporting the local response and the ongoing preliminary damage assessments with the state. Thanks, and I'll be here to answer any questions or concerns that you may have.
Good evening, Sonoma. My name is Fernando Cabangbang from the California Department of Insurance. Thank you, OES, for inviting us. And we are here to basically provide you some information as we continue and rebuild Sonoma, as well as the other counties affected by these wildfires. So let me give you a quick phone number that would be able to assist you with any insurance-related questions you may have. So the number would be 1-800-927-HELP. 1-800-927-HELP. Now, this hotline is basically staffed by insurance professionals that can assist you when the time comes. If you have any claim-related questions, if you have any questions or any assistance in filing your claims, call this number. We are here, we are committed to rebuild Sonoma, and I am hoping that there is nothing to be rebuilt. So we are here for you guys as well as the other counties in the state being affected by these wildfires. Take this opportunity to review your insurance documents if you haven't done so. Keep them along with all your important documents so when the time comes, you can call the hotline and provide us with all the information that we might need regarding your insurance related needs. We will also be here in the next week or so on the ground to assist you guys in person. For those of you who might need help filing insurance claims, we will work with OES as well as the local authorities to set up booths at the local assistance centers to provide you all the information that you may need. We'll also be here after the press conference if you have any questions. I will be here as well as my partner for any questions that you might have. Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Jeff Baumgartner with the American Red Cross here in Sonoma County. Last night, Red Cross managed 10 shelters with a population of roughly 1,600 people. We're also aware that there are many other independent shelters out there, and we're working to provide support to them as well. This situation has the full attention of our entire organization, and we've got an open pipeline of resources flowing in. Yesterday was very much a surge day. Today was a little more strategic in getting things to where they need to be. Everybody is welcome to come to our shelters. Even if you're not planning on spending the night, we're serving hot food. We have health services at the shelters, disaster mental health, and a number of other resources, including masks. It's been very smoky out there, so feel free to swing by the shelter just to pick up some resources if you'd like to do that. Today was a big day in mobilizing people and resources. We've got a lot of people coming in from the outside to help this community. Our local volunteers were the first ones to step up to the plate and answer the call. And just like the other first responders, a lot of our volunteers have been impacted by the situation as well, just like many of you. One thing I do want to say is we made a call out for some help, for some volunteers in this community, and you guys answered the call. You guys answered the call in a big way. We had 4,000 people sign up to be event-based volunteers within the last 36 hours. That said, we're not able to put every single person to work immediately, so please do have some patience with us. This is a long process, it's a marathon, and Red Cross is going to be here. We're going to be sheltering for as long as there's a need, and we're going to be working with people that have been affected afterwards, and we're going to need your help through that process as well. So please, if you were one of those people who signed up to volunteer, please be patient with us. We will put you to work. We do need you. It might take a little bit of time. And with that, that's about all I got for right now, and we'll be around for questions. Thank you.
We would now like to be able to move on with the County of Sonoma update. If we can get each of the members of the Board of Supervisors to please come forward. There are there are 6 different categories that we'd like to focus on. The Emergency Operations Center that's currently operating at the County of Sonoma. We're going to provide you with the latest medical information and any resources that you may need. We're also going to be providing additional shelter information. If you have lost a pet, we're going to be talking about animal care control, damage assessments and how that process is going to work, and communications. To kick us off, we have Supervisor Shirley Zane. These will be about 2 to 3 minute updates each. Then we're going to keep moving through our agenda. Chairwoman Zane.
Thank you so much. We do have a lot of information that we hope is going to be helpful. I first wanted to say the Red Cross is doing an incredible job. I have been out there at the evacuation sites, and they are very well organized. I also want to add that I know that there have been many emergency response personnel and their loved ones who have lost their homes, and yet they're still showing up bravely to serve our community. And I want to thank you for that sacrifice. It's incredible. Yeah. I want to say also that an announcement about Kaiser and Sutter. A lot of you have been asking about that. The hospitals were evacuated yesterday, and patients were moved to other hospitals in the surrounding areas. We have word that they may reopen to be able to accept patients within the next 36 to 48 hours. 36 to 48 hours. Many of our evacuees also had to flee their homes with very little time to prepare. If you did not bring your medications with you when you evacuated, there are pharmacies open to filling prescriptions. And you can find a full list of those pharmacies on our website. I will tell you, I discovered from medical personnel today, those pharmacies are backed up 2 or more days. I reached out to Congressman Huffman, and we're going to get some more assistance from Marin County on that, because that's not acceptable. We're also offering mental health services at many of the evacuation centers to comfort our community. There are public health nurses, doctors, as well as mental health personnel at our evacuation sites. We know many of you have not been able to find a loved one. Please know that there's 2 ways that you can find a loved one. First of all, the American Red Cross has a Safe and Well website that allows you to register that you're safe and if you are looking for someone. But you can also call the Sheriff's Hotline, which is 565-3856. Again, 565-3856 to file a missing person report. If you are in a safe place and not in a mandatory area, I would ask that we want you to please stay there, because we need to keep our roads available. Animals. A lot of you have asked about animals. We know many of you are concerned about animal family members. A number of our smaller shelters are accepting small pets, and large animals can be taken to the Santa Rosa Fairgrounds and the Sonoma Marin Fairgrounds and the Cloverdale Citrus Fair. If you need sheltering for your large animals or have a shelter location, please call the Sonoma County Animal Services. That number is 565-7100. 565-7100. If you're in need of supplies or you have donations, also please call Animal Services. Animal Services is adding a group on Facebook so that community members can report lost and found animals. Again, I want to thank you for all of your support. I will say I drove through probably 14-lane or 12-lane intersections with no lights, and everybody manages to flow through. The cooperation and kindness to one another has amazed me, and so I do want to thank you deeply for that. And now I'm going to pass the mic on to my colleague, Supervisor Gord, to talk a little more about shelters.
Thank you, Chair Zane, and thank you, everybody. Safety is our priority. Over the past day and a half, mandatory evacuation orders have been issued to thousands and thousands of residents, many of you very frustrated by it in all different ways. Nearly 5,000 people in our community have stayed at our shelters so far, with 9,000 different spots available at different times. Evacuation center information is being kept on the county website. We have 4 evacuation centers with enhanced services, including mental health services. These include the Sonoma Marin Fairgrounds, Sonoma County Fairgrounds, Elsie Allen High School, and the Santa Rosa Veterans Building. We've procured cots, blankets, medical beds, wheelchairs, and other essential resources. Evacuation orders remain in effect in areas that are unsafe. Do not enter a road that is closed or attempt to return to your home before evacuation orders are issued. I represent the North County, which is the majority of Larkfield, Wickiup, and Coffee Park, and recovery starts today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your patience here this evening. I am Susan Gorin. I'm the supervisor for the 1st District. Every part of my district has been affected by this fire. Still are. 36 hours ago, I was in snowy Colorado waiting the birth of my grandchild. Today, she, going to be born. I'm going to call him Smokey. I'm back here. Grandpa is back in Colorado, and I just wanted to say I'm here because so many of you are in pain and have suffered so much loss. I have friends who lost their homes in Coffey Park or Larkfield Wikia, Fountain Grove. We toured Fountain Grove today. It's devastated. Kenwood, Glen Ellen, Sonoma, Bennett Valley is evacuated, houses are burning. Rincon Valley, houses are burning. And I live in Oakmont, my house is burning. Like you, I will be dealing with all the folks you heard from, getting emergency assistance, working with the city on rebuilding, arguing with my insurance company, and mourning some of the things that I was not able to take away from my home because I haven't been back to my home in a week. But we are a community. We are amazing, and I want to have everybody give our first responders a huge hand. Please join me. The evacuations have been handled beautifully. My 91-year-old mother-in-law was safely evacuated, and so many other people. We have each other. We're stepping up to the plate. We are contributing. We are volunteering. We are strong. We are community. We are resilient. We will recover, and we will rebuild. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I am one of you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is David Rabbit. I represent the 2nd District. I want to talk about damage assessment. Some of this has been mentioned, but I want to make sure that you understand we've requested damage assessment teams to fully account for the number and the types of damage and destroyed structures. This is important not only for your safety, but for the state and federal level to make sure that we're reimbursed, that you're reimbursed going forward. We anticipate that this will take several days. Personally, today I was in one area where I saw some state and federal officials doing some windshield assessments. In the coming days, we'll be providing additional information for residents who have lost their homes or businesses. Can also tell you that there are a lot of hazardous materials within those areas, and debris removal needs to take place. Lastly, we are in the process of setting up an LAC, which is a local assistance center. This is designed to be a one-stop shop for you that are affected by the fire. It's going to be staffed by local, state, and federal agencies, as well as nonprofit and volunteer organizations. An LAC provides a single facility at which individuals, families, and businesses can assess recovery programs or access recovery programs and services. The local access center will be at a convenient location for you, and the hours will be convenient as well. We'll coordinate, of course, with our partners, the City of Santa Rosa.
Hello, I'm Linda Hopkins. I'm the 5th District Supervisor. I want to provide you with a few items of information about how to get information. Some of them have already been mentioned tonight, but I want to reiterate that we have an Emergency Operations Center hotline. That is 565-3856. You can also sign up for the Sheriff's Office Nixle to receive text alerts. Text your zip code to get zip code specific information to 888-777. And finally, SoCo Alert is also a good way to get access to emergency information, socoalert.com. Also, reach out to us on social media. The County of Sonoma's Facebook page, follow that. Friend and follow all of the supervisors and city council members because we are all updating as much as we possibly can. And finally, I just want to say that I have the honor and the privilege to work with some of the hardest working elected officials, all the way from the local level on up to the federal level. I am honored to serve with these people. But guess what? When we have a disaster of this magnitude, government cannot do it alone. And if you are in this audience tonight and you have not lost your home, I ask you to step up and help those who have. It's going to take every single person in this audience and really in this county to help make our community whole again. So I ask you to open your homes, to open your pocketbooks, and to step up and support people who are less fortunate than you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm going to introduce Barbie Robinson. She is our Director of Health Services, and she's going to give you a quick update on health matters.
Good evening. I first want to express my deepest condolences to our community for the devastation that we're experiencing right now. And I want to provide a brief update on matters concerning health operations. So early Monday morning, the Department of Health Services activated its Emergency Health Operations Center to respond to and coordinate the various medical and health needs within the county. Our primary goal and priority has been to address the health needs of the most medically fragile and those with urgent behavioral health needs. And so we learned pretty early on that Kaiser and Sutter were evacuated, and we've been monitoring the status of our hospital system. We currently have 18 hospital beds available in the county. And our clinics are also active. We have staff, nurses, and doctors who have been deployed to the various shelters throughout the county to provide medical support. There are approximately 40 shelters throughout the county. We have behavioral health and public health staff deployed throughout those shelter facilities. We have around 43 behavioral health personnel and 12 public health nurses who are out at those facilities, triaging the medical needs and the mental health needs of folks that are in those centers. We have 24 skilled nursing facilities within the county. At least 6 of those facilities have been evacuated, and there are 18 remaining intact, and most of those are at full capacity. And so we're currently monitoring to make sure that we're able to deploy resources or provide skilled nursing facility support with our neighboring counties if the need arises. In terms of the shelters, as I mentioned, we have 40 that are operational. We're currently monitoring their capacity and staffing needs and deploying our public health nurses there to provide support. With respect to air quality, the Department of Health Services has an advisement. We ask that you limit your outdoor activities to avoid unnecessary exposure to smoke. Set your air conditioning units and your car vent systems to recirculate to prevent outside air from moving inside. We ask that you limit your outdoor activities and activities that can contribute to the increase in pollution. We also know that the City of Santa Rosa has issued a boil order, and that is as of last night, 11 p.m. And this precaution applies to the Fountain Grove area. And the boundaries for that is for folks who live east of Mendocino Avenue, north of Sinead Road, west of Fountain Grove Parkway, and south of Mark West Springs Road. And if you need additional information about that boil notice, please go to the Santa Rosa website at srcity.org. Again, that's srcity.org. I know that some of you are indicating that you don't have access to cell phone or internet resources. I advise that you see some of us here after tonight's town hall meeting to help support you with those resources. Again, I'll be here and available to answer any questions that you have about our response on the medical and behavioral health side. Thank you.
We really appreciate your patience this evening, and thank you for hanging with us. And again, I cannot imagine what a difficult time this is. We'd like to be able to now turn it over to one of the hardest working mayors in the state, and that's Chris Coursey. He'd like to be able to give an update on all operations happening in the city of Santa Rosa.
Good evening, everybody. I know we're getting tired. I'm getting tired. And I want to remind everybody that, as has been said a couple times tonight, this is a marathon. So we need to be able to sustain what's happened over the last 2 days for quite a long time. Everybody's here tonight for information. I want to give you one key piece of information that Barbie just mentioned, srcity.org. This is a site that has been turned into our emergency site. Our homepage is an emergency, just like our city is an emergency right now. We will be updating this with the information that you're looking for as soon as we can get it. I'd like all of us to acknowledge to ourselves and to each other that we've been through a trauma in the last couple of days. You heard it in Supervisor Gorin's voice. You heard it in Chief Gosner's voice, our fire chief. This has been a traumatic event. Some people have lost their lives. A lot of people have lost their property. Many have lost their business. All of us have lost something in the last couple of days. We need to accept that, understand that, and also embrace what I think is going to be a new normal for a while. Things aren't going to work as well as they have been in the past. From small things to large things. Your cell phone isn't going to work very well if it's like mine. Your internet isn't going to work very well. Access to your neighborhood may not be as easy as it has been in the past. This is not the fault of the people who are trying to change it. They're working hard. Everybody is working hard. Because it's new, though, some of us will make mistakes. I know I will make mistakes. And I ask everybody to accept that we are in a traumatic situation, that we are going to find our way out of this if we work together and if we can just accept some of the things that won't work all the time. I spent today in every single Red Cross shelter that's open in Santa Rosa. I answered people's questions until they didn't have any more questions. And I will start tonight by apologizing to you the same way I apologized to them by saying we don't have a lot of answers yet. The most important questions you have are, is my house still standing? And when can I get back into my neighborhood? We don't have the answers to those questions. We're working on them. Please be patient. So, as has been mentioned a couple times tonight, the fire that was so devastating the night before last the conditions were good for that today in Santa Rosa. Elsewhere, they were not so good. In Bennett Valley, in Annandale Heights, in Oakmont, we have new threats. Our resources, our personnel are stretched to the limit. The reason that you don't see a whole lot of city employees here tonight is everybody is working. Everybody is on deck. Everybody is doing a different job. Most of them are doing different jobs than they've been trained and hired to do. From directing traffic in front of the fairgrounds to being public information officers in the Emergency Operations Center, everybody has been pressed into service. So we are stretched, but we will not break. The city of Santa Rosa is strong because of the people who live here and the people who work here. I want to mention a phrase that was not used by the fire personnel tonight, I don't think, but is really important in their work, and that's mutual aid. We have more than 50 agencies from around the state, 50 fire agencies from around the state, working in this area to put out the fires that are threatening our city. This is the way that the fire corps works. They help each other. We have to give mutual aid to each other. We're all going to need a shoulder to lean on. If we don't need a shoulder to lean on, we need to present a shoulder for someone else to lean on ours. That's the way mutual aid works, and let's keep that in mind. So, with that, I just want to ask you all, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. That's what we do in Santa Rosa, that's what we do in Sonoma County. And thank you all for being here.
Next, we'd like to bring up some representative from PG&E to give us an update on electricity and gas. So. They're going to come right up.
Yeah, what are they going to say? We have none.
Ma'am, please be patient. Thank you. Everybody's frustrated. Please be patient. Thank you.
Don't give me platitudes.
Good evening. My name's Walt Posey. I'm with PG. I'm the incident commander for our team. Currently, when we started this meeting, we had about 50,000 customers out across Sonoma. As the meeting's gone on, we've energized about 10,000 customers. The way that it works for us for energizing, we work with CAL FIRE, and we get permission to energize circuits so that we provide this most safest environment for the fire workers that are out there on the line. So what we don't want to do is go in and start restoring power and cause a hazard for the fire workers that are out there. So we work hand in hand with CAL FIRE to get permission as we go along. We're bringing in over 1,000 employees, gas and electric, to support this event. And what we don't want to do in addition is energize something where we have maybe leaking gas or something like that. So we work hand in hand with our gas group to ensure that we are restoring safely so that when you go home, you will have safe and reliable service. Part of our strategy is to bring in additional resources from other areas to help support this event. We are bringing in mutual aid from other companies to help us support across the state because we do have multiple fires. Pardon? Okay. So the first and foremost is safety is our number one concern, and we want to make sure that that's what we're out there looking for. There's a lot of wires down, there's a lot of hazards out there, and we need to take a deliberate approach to restoring power. And that's going to be sometimes frustrating for us all.